All right, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about a pretty huge idea that the real power to change our health is, believe it or not, sitting right there on our plate. Now, this explainer is built on the amazing work of Lalit Kapoor and Dr. Michael Greger, and it was compiled by Sunil Bhatia. So let's unpack what the science actually says about letting our food be our medicine.
I want to kick things off with this quote because, wow, it is absolutely mind-blowing. A former U.S. Surgeon General said that for the first time in modern history, our kids might actually live shorter lives than we do. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. That is a complete reversal of everything we think of as progress, and it really forces us to ask a tough question. So, yeah, what on earth went wrong? How did we, with all our incredible medical breakthroughs and technology, end up here, at a point where our lifespan could actually be moving backward? Well, it turns out the answer might have less to do with our hospitals and a whole lot more to do with our grocery stores. So let's pinpoint the culprit. But before we do, I need you to hear this, and it's super important. This whole health crisis, it is not about a personal failure. It is not your fault. You've heard it a million times, right? The classic advice to just eat less and move more. But blaming this on gluttony and sloth, basically calling people lazy, completely misses the point. The reality is that so much of our food today has been scientifically engineered to make us overeat. It's designed to bypass our natural "I'm full" signals. And this chart just says it all. I mean, look at the difference. On one hand, you've got an apple. It's packed with fiber and nutrients, it gives you slow, steady energy, and it actually makes you feel satisfied. Then you've got the chips. The fiber's been stripped away, the nutrients are basically gone, and the calories hit your system so fast your body has no choice but to store them as fat. And the crazy part, you're still hungry for more. Okay, so if the food is the problem, why is eating healthy so dang confusing? We are just flooded with contradictory advice. It's a total mess. So let's try to cut through some of that noise and debunk a few of the biggest myths out there. First up, the big one. The one you hear in every gym, every health magazine, this widespread panic that we're all desperately lacking protein. Okay, let's get real. Here are the facts. Protein deficiency is so rare it's practically non-existent in the developed world. And that RDA you hear about, that's the optimal amount you should aim for, not some bare minimum you have to struggle to hit. The truth is, most people are eating double that amount, and all that excess animal protein puts a massive, unnecessary strain on our liver and kidneys. All right, myth number 2. This is one that has been drilled into our heads since we were kids, backed by billions of dollars in got milk advertising. But just think about it for a second. We're the only species on the entire planet that drinks another animal's milk after we're weaned. It's just a weird biological mismatch. Our bodies aren't great at absorbing the calcium from it, and worse, studies have now linked high dairy consumption with inflammation, messing with our hormones, and even an increased risk for certain cancers. And now for the myth that is the foundation of almost every failed diet, and maybe the biggest lie in the nutrition world, the idea that a calorie is just a calorie. This is where that whole idea just completely falls apart. See, it's not really about the calories you eat, it's all about the calories your body actually absorbs. And fiber? Fiber is the gatekeeper. It decides how much energy your body takes in versus how much gets passed along to feed the good guys, the microbes in your gut. That's exactly why 100 calories from an apple and 100 calories from a soda are playing completely different games inside your body. Which brings us to the really cool part. We've talked a lot about the food, but who are we actually feeding when we eat? Well, it's time to meet the real puppet master of your health. Just look at that number, 38 trillion. That's how many tiny microbial organisms are living in and on you right now. You are quite literally more microbe than you are human. This incredible community living inside you is your microbiome. And it's so important to your well-being that scientists are now calling it our second brain. Now this is empowering stuff. For a long time, we kind of thought our DNA was our destiny, that we were stuck with the genes we were given. But epigenetics completely changes that game. Think of it like this. Your DNA is the hardware of your phone. It's fixed. But epigenetics, that's the software. And your choices, especially what you eat, write the code that tells your genes whether to turn on health or turn on disease. You are the programmer. So, if we are the programmers and our gut is our second brain, the solution becomes pretty straightforward, right? We just have to give our microbes the right kind of fuel to run the whole system properly. So what is the right fuel? Well, some groundbreaking research from the American Gut Project found a surprisingly simple answer. The single greatest predictor of a healthy gut wasn't being vegan or keto or paleo, it was the variety of plants a person ate. And they even found a magic number for peak gut health, eating 30 or more different types of plants every single week.
And I know 30 sounds like a huge number, but it's way easier than you think when you remember to eat across these 5 main pillars of a healthy diet. We're talking about a mix of fruits, vegetables, whole grains, legumes, like beans, lentils, chickpeas, and a small amount of nuts and seeds. Getting variety across these groups is the secret to a happy inner ecosystem. Okay, knowing all this is one thing, but actually putting it into practice is a whole other story. So let's break down a really simple but powerful action plan to help you get started. One of the best hacks for upping your plant count, especially if you're busy, is green juice. You can cram way more leafy greens into one glass than you could probably eat in a giant salad. This formula here is a perfect place to start. A hydrating base like cucumber, an apple for a little sweetness, a squeeze of lemon, then just pack in as much spinach or kale as you can, and add some ginger for a little kick. It's an amazing way to start your day. Look, if all this feels like a lot, just start here. If you only remember 4 things from this whole explainer, make it these 4. Number 1, avoid animal foods. 2, avoid refined and ultra-processed stuff. 3, make your main goal eating a huge variety of plants. And 4, stay hydrated, mostly with plain old water. Seriously, just these 4 things alone can absolutely revolutionize your health.
So we end up right back where we started, with that ancient wisdom from Hippocrates. The amazing thing is we now have all the modern science to prove that he was right all along. The power is truly on your plate. So the only real question left is, what prescription are you going to write for yourself today?